Hi dear students, welcome back to online classes. I am your guru Akshapeti. In last video we were discussing about rules for counting significant figures and rules for rounding up the numbers. In today's class we are going to discuss about dimensional analysis. Dimensional analysis is a method which is used to convert one unit system to another unit system. Means the conversion of kilometer to meter. Okay, the method which is used to convert one unit system to another unit system is called dimensional analysis. It is a method. It is a method. It is a method used to convert one unit system to one unit system to another unit system. Another unit system is called dimensional analysis. Now let us see some numericals on dimensional analysis. In the first numerical, a jug contains 2 liters of milk. Calibrate volume of milk in cubic meter. Here already volume of milk is given in liters. The volume of milk is given in liters. He is asking you to convert them into cubic meter. Yes, already given in liters. You have to convert it to cubic meter. So now let us convert step by step. First, 2 liter. 1 liter is equal to how many cubic meter? 1 liter is equal to how many cubic meter? Let us say 1 cubic meter is equal to how many liters? 1000 liters. Right? 1 cubic meter is equal to 1000 liter. Then 1 liter is equal to 10 power minus 3 cubic meter. Why? Because 1000 is equal to 10 power 3. If 10 power 3 comes this side, then it becomes negative. So 1 liter is equal to 10 power 3, 10 power minus 3 meter cube. Now this liter cancel. Next you multiply these two numbers. 2 into 10 power minus 3 cubic meter. A jug contains 2 into 10 power minus 3 cubic meter milk. Okay, next the second one. A piece of metal is 3 inch. A piece of metal, this is the metal, its length is 3 inch. Its length is 3 inch. What is its length in centimeter? He is asking convert inches into centimeter. Convert inches into centimeter. Okay. 1 inch is equal to how many centimeter? If you know this, then you can easily convert inches into centimeter. 1 inch is equal to 2.5 centimeter. 1 inch is equal to 2.5 centimeter. Now let us start conversion of inches into centimeter. 3 inch. 3 inch into 1 inch is equal to how many centimeters? 2.5 centimeters. Now inch cancel. Next you multiply these two numbers. 3 into 2.5. If you multiply these two numbers, you will get 7.5 centimeter. The length of metal is 7.5 centimeter. The next numerical. How many days, seconds are in 2 days? How many seconds are there in 2 days? Now let us convert step by step. Here we have to convert days into seconds. First, 2 days. He has given 2 days. In 1 day, How many hours are there? First, you have to convert days into hours. In one day, how many hours are there? 24 hours. So they get cancelled. Next, you have to convert into minutes. In 1 hour, how many minutes are there? 60 minutes. Then hours get cancelled. Next, in 1 minute, how many seconds are there? 60 seconds. Then minute get cancelled. The final answer will be in seconds. Next, now you multiply these numbers. 2 into 24 into 60 into 60. If you multiply these values, you will get 1,72,800 seconds. Okay, 2 days is equal to 1,72,800 seconds. Okay, next come to the fourth one. The distance between Sun and Earth is 93 into 10 power 6 mile. He is asking the distance in meter. Calculate the distance between Sun and Earth in meter. Now let us convert step by step. First, 93 into 10 power 6 mile. We cannot convert directly into meters. First we have to convert them into kilometer. Next we can convert them into meter. First, 1 mile is equal to how many kilometers? You should know that 1 mile is equal to 1.6 kilometer, and 1 kilometer is equal to how many meters? 10 power 3 meters. Okay, you remember these values, these conversions. Then only we can convert from any unit to another unit system. 1 mile is equal to 1.6 kilometer. 1.6 kilometer. Okay. Next, here mile get cancelled. Next, 1 kilometer is equal to how many meters? 10 power 3 meters. Then kilometer get cancelled. Now multiply these values. 93 into 10 power 6 into 1.6 into 10 power 3. If you multiply these R values, you will get the final answer in meter. The answer is 1.49 into 10 power 11 meters. The next numerical. Average distance between carbon atoms in diamond is 1.54 angstrom. Calculate in meters. Here we have to convert angstrom into meters. Now let us convert step by step. 1.54 angstrom into 1 angstrom is equal to how many meters? If you know that, then you can easily convert angstrom into meters. To remember these values, 1 angstrom is equal to 10 power minus 10 meter. Okay, 1 angstrom is equal to 10 power minus 8 centimeter. You remember these values. Here, 1 angstrom is equal to 10 power minus 10 meter. Now angstrom get cancelled. Multiply these two values. 1.54 into 10 power minus 10 meter. Okay, the distance between carbon atoms in diamond is 1.54 into 10 power minus 10 meters. This is dimensional analysis. The next concept is laws of chemical combination. The chemical combination, it depends on 5 laws. The first one is law of conservation of mass. It was proposed by Lavoisier. lower is zero. According to this law, matter can neither be created nor be destroyed. Means matter cannot be created or cannot be destroyed. Matter can neither be created nor be destroyed. Matter can neither be created nor be destroyed. But we can convert from one form to another form. But it changes from one form to another form. In other words, we can say that total mass of reactant, total mass of reactants is equal to total mass of product. Total mass of product. Products means mass of matter does not change. It remains constant before and after reaction, but it changes one form into another form. Let us take one example. Hydrogen plus chlorine. Hydrogen, it combines with chlorine and it gives HCl molecule. 2 HCl molecule. Now it is balanced. Here 2 hydrogens, here also 2 hydrogens, here 2 chlorines, here 2 chlorines. Now, what is the atomic mass of hydrogen? Atomic mass of hydrogen is 1. There are 2 hydrogens are there, so 2 grams. Now I am going to write in grams. Okay. Next, chlorine. 1 chlorine atomic mass is 35.5. There are 2 chlorines are there. That's why the mass is 71 grams. Okay. Next, here. Hydrogen 1 plus 35.5 into 2. You will get 73 grams. Now add these two values. You will get 73 grams. The total mass of reactant is equal to total mass of product. Here mass remains constant. Mass does not change, but it changes from one form to another form. This is law of conservation of mass. The next one, law of definite proportion. Law of definite proportion. This law was proposed by Proust. According to this law, irrespective of sources or methods of preparation, a pure chemical compound always contains the same elements and they are combined together in a fixed ratio by mass. Here, definite proportion. Definite means fixed. Fixed proportion. The ratio is fixed. Fixed ratio between elements of between different elements in a compound. Now let us see. According to law of definite proportion, a pure chemical compound always contain the same elements combined together in the fixed ratio by mass. Fixed ratio by mass, irrespective of sources and methods of preparation irrespective of sources, irrespective of source or methods of preparation, methods of preparation. This is the law of definite proportion. A pure chemical compound always contain the same elements and they combined in the fixed ratio by mass, irrespective of source or methods of preparation. Is a pure chemical compound ratio does not depend on source or methods of preparation. Now let us see some examples. You collect water from different sources. You collect water from sea, rain and tap. You collect water from different sources, sea, rain and tap. When these three waters are tested in laboratory, in sea water, the water molecules are H2. In rain water, the water molecules are H2. In tap water, the water molecules are H2. Irrespective of source, the water contains same elements. In sea water, there are hydrogen and oxygen. In rain water, there are also hydrogen and oxygen. In tap water, there are also hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, now let us check mass. In this, there are two hydrogens are there. What is the atomic mass of one hydrogen? 1 plus. What about the oxygen? What is the atomic mass of oxygen? 16. Means hydrogen atomic mass 1. There are two hydrogens multiplied with 2. Oxygen atomic mass is 16. 2 is to 16. The ratio of hydrogen and oxygen by mass. The ratio of hydrogen and oxygen by mass is 2 is to 1. Now you simplify this ratio. 2 1 2 8 means the ratio is 1 is to 8. The ratio of hydrogen and oxygen in sea water is 1 is to 8 by mass. Now let us check in rain water. Here also there are 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen. So here also the ratio is 1 is to 8. In tap, here also there are 2 hydrogens, 1 oxygen. So the ratio is 1 is to 8 by mass. The ratio of hydrogen and oxygen is 1 is to 8 by mass. Means 1 gram of hydrogen combined with 8 gram of oxygen. Now see, a pure chemical compound always contains the same elements. Yes, there are same elements in sea water, rain water and tap water. And they are combined in the fixed ratio by mass. Yes, these two elements they combined in a fixed ratio by mass. Here also they combined in 1 is to 8 ratio. In rain water also the hydrogen and oxygen combined in 1 is to 8 ratio. In tap water they combined in 1 is to 8 ratio, irrespective of sources. The second example. When calcium carbonate is heated, it gives calcium monoxide and carbon dioxide. Calcium monoxide and carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide we can prepare from this method or we can prepare some other method. The second method, when carbon it reacts with oxygen, it gives carbon dioxide. We can prepare from two methods. Carbon dioxide we can prepare from two methods. Okay, in this method, the carbon dioxide, in this carbon dioxide, how many carbons are there? One carbon and two oxygen. What is the now let us check the ratio of carbon and oxygen. What is the mass of carbon? The mass of carbon is 12. What about oxygen? One oxygen atomic mass is 16. Two oxygen is 32. The ratio of carbon and oxygen is 12 is to 32 by mass in carbon dioxide. Okay, the first method. In the second method, here when the carbon combined with oxygen, it gives carbon dioxide. Here also there are one carbon and two oxygen. What about the atomic mass of carbon? 12. Next, what is the atomic mass of oxygen? One atomic mass of one oxygen is 16. There are two oxygen, so 12 is to 32 ratio. Irrespective of methods of preparation, a pure chemical compound contains same elements, and the elements are combined in a fixed ratio by mass. This is the law of definite proportion or law of constant composition. Next law of multiple proportion. The next law is law of multiple proportion. It was proposed by Dalton. According to this law, if two elements combine to form more than one compound, then different masses of one element, which combine with fixed mass of other element, which combine with fixed mass of other element, are in simple whole number ratio, This is the statement. According to law of multiple proportion, if two elements combine to form more than one compound, then different masses of one element which combine with fixed mass of other elements are in simple whole number ratio. Just by reading the statement, we cannot understand exact meaning of this law. Now let us check one example. Carbon and oxygen. These two different elements, they combine together and form more than one compound. One is carbon monoxide, another one is carbon dioxide. Okay, here the mass of carbon is 12 grams. Why? Because here only one carbon, its atomic mass is 12 grams. Here how many oxygen atoms are there? One oxygen atom. Its atomic mass is 60 grams. Come to this compound. Here the carbon atomic mass is 12 grams, and here oxygens are 2. That's why there are 2 oxygens. That's why its atomic mass is 32 grams. Now let us check the law statement. If two elements combine to form more than one compound, then different masses of one element. See here the carbon in this compound, the mass of carbon is 12 gram. Here the mass of carbon is 12 gram. The mass of carbon is fixed. The mass of carbon is fixed. But the oxygen masses are different. different masses of one element, different masses of one element, which is combined with the fixed mass of other element, means different masses of oxygens. Different masses of oxygens are combined with fixed mass of carbon, and these different masses of oxygens are in simple whole number ratio. Now let us check either they are in simple ratio or not. Here see, in this compound the atomic mass of oxygen is 16, here 32. Now just simplify this ratio, 16 1 plus 16 2. The simplest ratio is 1:2. See, the different masses of oxygens are in simple whole number ratio. The different masses of oxygens are in simple whole number ratio. This is the law of multiple proportion. What is the law of multiple proportion? If two elements combine to form more than one compound, then different masses of one element, different masses of oxygens are in simple whole number ratio. This oxygen, the different masses of one element is combined with the fixed mass of carbon. Okay, I hope you understand this law. Next law is Gay-Lussac's law. It was proposed by Gay-Lussac. It was proposed by Gay-Lussac. According to this law, at constant temperature and pressure, at constant temperature and pressure, constant temperature and pressure, gases will combine in simple ratio of their volume. Gases will combine in simple ratio of their volume. According to Gay-Lussac's law, at constant temperature and pressure, gases will combine in simple ratio of their volume. This law is applicable only for gaseous reaction. Now let us take one example. Hydrogen gas. When hydrogen gas reacts with chlorine gas, it gives HCl gas. 2 HCl gas. See here. Now let us check volume of hydrogen, volume of chlorine, and volume of HCl. Here, what is the coefficient? 1. So 1 volume. Here the coefficient is 1 volume. Here, what is the coefficient? 2 1. Here, 1 volume of hydrogen gas combines with 1 volume of chlorine gas and it gives 2 volume of HCl. See, here the volumes are in simple ratio. See, 1 1 2, they are in simple ratio. Let us take one more example. 1 liter. If the volume of hydrogen is 1 liter, then the volume of chlorine will be 1 liter only. The volume of HCl 2 liters. 1 liter of hydrogen combined with 1 liter of chlorine and it gives 2 liter of HCl. See, the volumes are in simple ratio. According to this law, at constant temperature and pressure, the gases will combine in simple ratio of their volume. Here the gases are combining in simple ratio and it forms, the product is also in simple ratio. Next, one more example. 1 ml. If volume of hydrogen is 1 ml, then how many ml of chlorine is required? 1 ml. Why? Because it is in simple ratio. 1 ml of hydrogen react with 1 ml of chlorine and it gives how many ml of HCl? It gives 2 ml of HCl. This is the law of Gay-Lussac's law. The next law, Avogadro's law. Avogadro's law. This law was proposed by Avogadro. This is proposed by Avogadro. According to this law, at constant temperature and pressure, equal volume of all gases contain equal number of molecules. At constant temperature and pressure, at constant temperature and pressure, at constant temperature and pressure, equal volume of all gases contain equal number of molecules. This is Avogadro's law. At constant temperature and pressure, equal volume of all gases contain equal number of molecules. Means irrespective of gases, if volume is same, the number of molecules also same. Let us take one example. 1 mole of nitrogen gas. 1 mole of nitrogen gas contain Avogadro number of particles, means 6.022 into 10 power 23 molecules. 1 mole of nitrogen gas contains 6.022 into 10 power 23 molecules. 1 mole of oxygen gas. 1 mole of oxygen gas also contains 6.022 into 10 power 23 molecules. 1 mole of hydrogen gas also contains 6.022 into 10 power 23. That means at constant temperature and pressure, equal volume of any gases contain equal number of molecules. Here the number of molecules depends on volume. It not depends on nature of gas. Okay, and one more thing you remember, equal volume of all gases contain equal number of molecules, but not the atoms. The number of atoms may be different or same. Okay, in today we have discussed about laws of chemical combination. We will continue in next class. Thank you.